Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and thank you so much for joining us and and for respecting the effort we go to bring you 2 full-length Sudoku videos every day. Minute Cryptic, Wordle in a minute, Cryptic crossword masterclasses on Fridays, streaming most weeks. We are just trying to bring you loads of extra content. One of the ways we do that is by having Sudoku hunts on Patreon and crossword videos, some very hard cryptics there, like Saber's Listener, some gridogram and connections videos, loads of content. We've also, of course, got our books. You can find them in links under the video. We've got our apps. They do feature arrow Sudoku and line Sudoku, which are relevant to today. They're great fun. There's also the worms amongst the apps, and they're clever. So check it all out. I mean, there's a load going on. We've got a bit of merch as well in case you wanted that. But we really appreciate the support we get from the people who follow the channel. And we cannot believe 700,000 of you have subscribed. That's very good of you. And not unsubscribed, those 700,000. Incredible. Anyway, we got an email in from Andreas, who has been looking at this puzzle on the screen and worrying that he can't get a break in. He hasn't got a single digit after quite a lot of work. Now, this is arrows and double arrows. What could possibly go wrong? Well, I could get in the same trouble as Andreas, quite clearly. Let's do the rules. You can try it on the first link under the video. I'm going to go through the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So 1 to 9 will go in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Digits along an arrow sum to the digit in that arrow's circle. Where a double arrow line connects 2 circles, the sum of the digits on the line is equal to the sum of the 2 circles. So those 3 will equal the sum of those 2. This one will equal the sum of those 2. These 2 will equal the sum of those 2, etc., etc. Give it a try. I don't know what we'll find as we immerse ourselves in this. Let's get cracking. It feels like row 1 and 9 ought to be helpful. In each of these, the pattern is the same. An arrow, a circle. Right. How do we sort of... Let's call this arrow... I think I want to reduce it to algebra, because otherwise I'm not going to understand what's going on in the row. Let's call this A, this arrow total. And that circle must be A as well. Let's call this B, and this circle must be B as well. So I think we've got 2A there and 2B there. What's more, this group of cells must be A plus B. So the whole row is now 3A plus 3B. I think that's right. It makes sense because if you divide that through by 3, then the whole row is 3 times A plus B. Now, we do know the sum of every row, column and box in a Sudoku. It's always the secret number 45 because that's the sum of the digits 1 to 9. And that means if 3 lots of A plus B is 45, then A plus B is 15. And these 2 circles must add up to 15. And the pattern is, as I said, repeated in the bottom row. So this pair adds up to 15. This pair adds up to 15. This trio adds up to 15. And these cells between them add up to 15. And obviously that's 15 pair is represented in the circles either by 6 plus 9 or by 7 plus 8 in each row. Now, having said that, where am I then? This gets interesting because this digit is the sum of that plus that. So this can't be 9 anymore, and that means this can't be 6. And this must be 1, 2, or 3 to allow this total to be 7, 8, or 9. Oh, and that is the sum of these two on its arrow. Oh, this is very weird how the circles and arrow intersect. So this can't be a 1 anymore. And these are either a 1-1 pair adding up to 2, which is legal, or a 1-2 pair adding up to 3. Now, if that has been restricted to 2 or 3, this can't be 7 anymore. And this can't be 8 anymore, I don't think. 8 plus at least 2 gives 10. So that has gone down to 6 or 7, and this is 8 or 9. Now, I'm looking at that and thinking it's not going to be wildly helpful. One of these digits, at least, is a 1, and they both see this arrow. So this arrow has to be at least 2 plus 3, and this circle has to be at least 5. I mean, it's not a wonderful deduction, but nonetheless, I like truths. Now, what about this column? Have we got anything interesting going? We've got a pair of 6s or 7s up there, adding to 12 or 14. That means the rest of the column adds up to 33 or 31. And that means this pair, which represents a little less than half the column, can't be more than 15, and that this digit is odd. I'm going to mark that just in case it helps later. This pair adds up to 15 at a maximum. And that was 6, 7, 8, or 9. Does that? Doesn't really limit this, I don't think. Well, this is limited a bit by this combination. This can't be 8 or 9 because the total of these two circles is here. So now this is at least 7 on the circle. And these two add up to 15 at the most. What is the least they might add up to? 11? That would give us 22. Let's say that was a 6 doubled. 34. No, that doesn't limit this cell at all. 5, 6, or 7, though, now we've limited this to, and it doesn't have a 1 in. Oh, it so nearly has to have a 2. It doesn't quite, but if it did have to have a 2, then we could limit both of these cells to 1s, and this digit would become a 2. Okay, the alternative that doesn't say that there has to be a 2 here is this being a 3-4 pair that add to 7. Then that digit becomes 6. So then they add up to 12. This lot adds up to 33. The 6, oh, I've just realized these could have added up to 9 to... I got the maths wrong because I didn't allow for 12, 33, 1 there, 32 here. These could add up to 16. I don't think it has changed anything about how we've limited them, but they add up to somewhere between 11 and 16. That's by the by, but let's clear up something I might have misspoken about. Now, if this is a 3-4 pair and this is a 7, this must be a 9 and this must be 2. Aha! If this is a 3-4 pair, this is a 7, which makes this a 9 and makes this a 2, and these become 2 1s by that means. Whereas if there's a 2 on this, which is the alternative, then these are 2 1s. So I think they have to be 2 1s either way round, whether that's a 3-4 because of these or whether it has a 2. So that digit is a 2 in the circle. That doesn't change any of these, but at least we've got a digit. I feel good about that. So the 2 in the top row is either here in a pair adding up to 6 or 7, or here in a pair ending up to 8 or 9. That's not very interesting. This digit is now not 1, although it is odd. I suppose one way to look at this column is that these 3 digits multiplied by 2 plus orange are 45. So if orange is a 3, these 3 digits add up to 21. I mean, this is all true, but it doesn't help at all. Oh, let's have a look here. These are at least 2, 3, making this digit at least 5. Right, I'm not going above 7 in my candidates there, because that plus this equal this, and that can't be a 1. So this is now 2, 3, or 4, making this one 7, 8, or 9. Now, if this was, let's try it again with 2s and 3s. If this was a 2, 3 pair with a 5 here, that would have to be a 4. Ah, this blue cell is effectively a total of these green ones, because you add those 2 to get that, then you add these 2 to get that. So these 3 add up to that, and they don't include a 1. So they must be 2, 3, and 4. This is lovely. And that blue is a 9. Isn't that fascinating? And this is still 5, 6, or 7. Literally, it hasn't limited that at all. But we found a 9. A very unexpected 9. These are from 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, I know it's excessive pencil marking. I can't help it. Are these a 2, 3, 4 triple? No, not necessarily, from the point of view that this could just be a 2, 5 pair. If this isn't a 2, 5 pair, these are a 2, 3, 4 triple in the row. These circles I haven't really considered. We're obviously adding up somewhere between 8 and 13. Right, let's think again, very briefly. I don't think it's going to do anything, but I'm going to think again about this being a 3, 4 pair, because that makes this 7, and this 9, and this 8, and this 6. And this 2. No, it doesn't seem to lead to anything very obvious after that. We've got a 1 by Sudoku in one of these 3 cells in row 6. I do fancy it could be on this line. I don't know. No, there's no evidence at all for that. It's a very interesting challenge, this puzzle. This digit is at least a 2, so this one is at most a 5. If that was a 6, these cells would be 1, 5, and 2, 4 in some order. Then these would all be 3, 7, 8, or 9, and that would have to be a 3 on this arrow. If that was a 6, this would have to be a 3. But then this could be 2, 3, or 4 leading to any of these possible totals, although not 6 again here. So 3 and 2 or 4 and 5 or 7. If that was a 7, all of these digits have to be under 7. Right. Where is this digit in box 1? I think it's got to be here. It can't be on this arrow because it's 8 or 9 and that would bust the arrow. It can't be on this arrow because that would bust this arrow. So it must be there. These two are the same. they're probably here, but it could, in theory, red could be an 8 with an 8-1 pair here adding up to 9. Then that would be 6, 2, 4, 3, 5, 7. I'm trying to remember that these two circles add up to 15. Oh, maybe I should think about that. I don't know. A bit more, maybe. If that was 7, what did we say this? We didn't say this would be a 3. This would be 6 or 5 in that case. And this would be 1, 3, or 5. And it would be from the pair that can add to 7 that wouldn't be on that arrow or that arrow. So the other bit of that pair would be here. Indeed, the other 8 or 9 is in one of these cells in the box. Where's the other 8 or 9 in this row? Well, we described the possibility of 8, 1 being here, and that does, as far as I can see, remain possible. Otherwise, the other 8 or 9 that isn't red is in this group. And they would have to add up to 15 without a 2. So if it was 9, it would be 9, 1, 5. If it was 8, not 8, 1, 6, because if 8 was here, that would be 9 and that would be 6. So if it was 8, it would be 8, 3, 4. Now, what happens if this is 9, 1, 8? That's 6, 4, 2, and this is 3, 5, 7. So these are limited. They're either 3, 5, 7, 9, 1, 5, or 8, something. 8, 4, 3. 3, 5, 7, 3, 4, 8, or 1, 5, 9. I mean, that's a weird set, a weird grouping of possibilities. I don't think I'm getting anywhere with that. Right, I'm going to have to think of something else to do. Oh, this digit. Oh, no, I was going to say it can't be a 6 because it's got 3 arrows. It doesn't. It has 2 arrows and a double arrow. So if that was a 6... Oh, that would be very interesting in the column because that would force this to be 7 and this to be 5. They would add up to 18. This part of the column would therefore add up to 36. And this would be a 9. Well, that's not impossible. So I can't rule out a 6 from here. If it was a 7, it would be a very similar situation. 7, 6, and 5 would add up to 18. Doubled is 36. That would be a 9. So it changes once this can be an 8. If it was a 6, where I was actually starting with that is these cells would be 1, 2, 4, 5. 6 and 5 would be there. This would have to add up to 11 without using 1, 2, 4, 5, or 6 or 7 in these cells. It couldn't do it. 3 and 8 are the minimum. Right, let me just explain that again. If this was 6, you'd get 7 here and 5 here. So 6 and 5 would make this add up to 11. And the 6 there would force these digits to be 1, 2, 4, 5. So these could not now be 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 or 7. You'd have to get to 11 with 3 cells, of which these two could be 3 and 8 at a minimum. That can't work. So this isn't 6. That's taken quite a while, but there we go. I think 7, well, once that's not 6, this isn't 9, because these two at the bottom add up to 15. Now, can this be a 6? Yeah, I mean, I think it can. I don't really want to get into what goes on if it isn't. Every cell that emerges from a circle looks at first sight like an arrow to me, and some of them aren't. Okay, if that's a 5, for this digit not to be 2, there has to be no 2 on this line. It has to be a 3-4 line with a 7 here. And then 2 would be here. So one of these two is definitely a 2. Okay, if that's 3, 4, this is 7, 9, 8, 6. Seven, 6, 8 would lead to a 3 here. 7, 6, 9, just doing the maths, would lead to a 1 there. That's not possible. So if this is a 6, 7 pair, this can't be 9 because we'd get a 1 here. So if this is a 6, 7 pair, this digit has to be 8. And this is a 6, 7 pair unless we put 5 here. If that's a 6, 7 pair with 8 here, we get a 3 here. That's quite interesting. It's hard to think about all the possibilities at once. It really is. And maybe that's not what I should be doing. Okay, if this is a 5, because I know what to do if it's not. So if this is a 5, we've got 2, 3, 4. Now, what else happens then? 5 on this arrow could be 3 and 2 or 1 and 4. I'd love it if something goes wrong with 5, 2, 3. 5 in this column. If that was 6, this would have to be 4, 2. We'd have 6, 4, 2, 5. One would be on this line. I don't know. It doesn't completely unwind. I mean, there are clearly powerful forces at play, but I don't see the resolution straight away. So let's just keep on keeping on with what we're thinking about. These two add up to 5, 6, or 7. Five there, which leads to 2, 3, and makes this a definite 7. That pushes 7 out of these cells. Okay, let's try and rule out this being a 6, 7 pair then, because that would make this a 5 and get us to start filling in those digits. That might be even better. Right, if this is a 6, 7 pair, this has to be an 8, because it can't be 7 anymore. And if it was 9, the arrow and circle cells in the column would leave that being a 1. So this would be 8, and this would be 3. We'd have 6 or 7, 8 and 3. 9 would be in one of these in the column. It's really interesting. 6 or 7 here. That would be 8 or 9 in its own right. No, I cannot quite see how that either breaks down or builds up into something we can use. So again, I have to declare I'm missing the point. Now I worked out if that was a 6, this has to be a 3. And then this is 2 or 4 with a 5 or 7 here. Does that 3 do anything else? I don't think it does. 6 there would force 9 here. 8 in this cell would reduce this to 6 or 7 and make this definitely 8 or 9. So 8 here would make this a 7. This would be 8 or 9. Right, I think this is impossible now. So I'm going to fill in these digits to show you why this is impossible. I'm going to start with this cell and say, what if that was 8? And this I think will fail. This digit couldn't be 8. It would now be 6 or 7. These two have to add to 15 in the row. So that one is now 8 or 9. But this has to be a 7 to add to 15 in the top row, the 2 circles again. Now these 3 cells add up to an absolute, I was going to say an absolute minimum of 22. And I've got that wrong. So this is possible. Indeed, it could well happen. But if those had an absolute minimum of 22, we'd have an absolute minimum of 44 on those cells. And this would have to be a 1. So in fact, these add up to less than 22. That is a known fact. $21 or less. The absolute minimum I thought was... It's 18. Oh, it's much smaller than I thought. It gets wildly, it gets really interesting. If these do add up to 18, this is a 9. Then that can't be a 9, and this becomes 6 or 5. If they add up to 18, that has to be a 5, in fact, and that's a 6, and that's a 7. So if they add up to 18, you've got 5, 6, 4, 2, 7, 9, and these are 1, 3, 8, summing to 12. Oh my goodness, I mean, I can see how it might keep going, but I can't solve that. Anyway, I was just speculating on what these circles add up to, and now we know it's between 18 and 21, and unfortunately that's not quite as helpful as I wanted. So let's go back to thinking, maybe there was something I spotted and I got it wrong. If that's an 8, that's a 7. Then these can't be 7 if that occurs. And to keep down to 21 or less, wow, it feels so powerful, but it doesn't quite solve the puzzle. If that's 8 and that's 7, there are other issues. Like, where does 9 go in the top row? It's got to be in this group with 1 and 5. So you've got 8, 7, 1, 5, 9. 2, 6 over this side and 3, 4 here. That would be definite. So if that's an 8, we've got 7, 3, 4 here. Then this pair is either 2, 5 or 1, 6. This is worth pursuing. Definitely worth pursuing. If that's 8, this is 7. And we've got 3, 4 there. Now if that's 7, the minimum total here is 20. And that is either 5 or 3 as a result of that. So with 1, 6 there, if that's a 5, this is, no, that was 3, 4. If that's a 5, this is 1, 6. If it's a 3, it doesn't narrow this down at all. That has surprised me. Oh dear. Okay, let's go back to thinking, oh, if that were, oh no, hang on. Ah, right. Here is why this digit is not 8. If it was 8, where would red be in row 1? Red is there and there. It would have to be in one of these 3 cells. It couldn't be 9, so it would have to be 8, and it would have to be here. But if 8 is red and there, that makes this a 6 on this arrow. And then 8 plus 6 does not reach the requisite total. So this is not 8. This is a 9. There we go. That's how to get to that number. Doesn't resolve whether it's red. But it does mean this digit is a 6. And that is worth having. This is now not a 6. Oh, now these are 1, 2, 4, 5 in some order. And this digit is definitely a 3. And this one is now 2 or 4. This is the sort of go forward we wanted. These are from 7, 8, 9 and form a triple with that. And therefore there's a 2. No, not necessarily. That's not 2. I was going to say 2 in the row had to be here, but of course it could be here. This pair can't be 6, 3 now. If that's 1, 5, the 2 in the top row has to be here, and it has to be 2, 7. Otherwise, this is 2, 4. And then the only even digit able to contribute here would be 8. So this is either 2, 7 or 1, 8 up here. 3 must be in this group of cells adding to 15, along with a pair that is either 8, 4 or 5, 7. And then there's also a 3 in these cells. Oh, this has become 8 on this arrow, double arrow. That's an 8. That's the red digit. That's an 8. Now one of these two is an 8. They're an 8, 1 pair. Now this is not 1, 5. That's a 2, 4 pair. This is a 1, 5 pair looking down here. That digit becomes a 7 as a result of that. This one is not a 7 now. Now, if we add these 3, 21, if we made that a 9, these 3 circles would be 22. This whole group would be 44, and that would be a 1. So we're going to make this an 8, and this a 3. And that 8 forces this to be a 7, because these 2 circles in the bottom row add up to 15. 7 is now ruled out of a couple of cells in box 6, and is now ending up there or there. This is either 2, 5 or 3, 4, which means that 2 is used up in this group. Yeah, it does. It doesn't. It's interesting. Right. This is either 2, 5 or 3, 4 as well. This group is 2, 4, 9. This one can't be 9. It can't be 1 either. So that's 2 or 4. There is a 3 in one of these cells. If it's in one of those two, one of these has to be 5. Oh, 2 and 7 there. We can finish that off with a 9. Now there's a 9 in one of these two cells by Sudoku. That's it. That's what we want. We want more Sudoku. Okay, I'm going to remove the red and the orange colors there. They're all kind of jobs done. Nice jobs done. Look, there's a 2-4 pair. Oh, in fact, we can just add this up. That's a 4. That's a 2. We're left with 4-9 down here. That's annoying because neither of those digits can contribute to one of the 3 8 sums. So one of them is there, one of them is there, and this pair must also add to 8. Actually, that means 5 must be on the left side of this box. Whichever pair it's going with 3 must be over here. Oh, that 4 looks up to the top and does 2, 4. Now 2 has to be in one of these cells, and similar to 2 and to 3 and 5, 6 must now be on the right side of this box. Then 1 and 7 will be the other pair. Here we have no 8. That's a 7-9 pair. These are now 3, 5, 7. 2. 9 has to be here. Look at that 7-9 pair. And remaining digits in the box are 1, 4, and 6. That can't be 4 or 3, and it is 2, therefore, in this row. And this now can't be 7, so it's 5 or 6. And this is the only place for 7 in the box. That's a strange discovery. 2, 7, 1, 9, 3, 4. I'm looking at row 4. Everything else is 5, 6, or 8. Now we've got a pair here. They could be 2, 7 or 4, 5. I've got no information. Right, 7 and 7 is going to leave 7 definitely here by Sudoku. I've just spotted these two 7s. So that becomes a 2. And that does nothing else. It does do something else. It definitely puts 2 into one of these cells vertically. So that's a 2. I don't know what it is because I don't know what we're meant to be adding up to. I've got this wrong. I've pencil marked these as though they are an arrow from the 7, and that's silly. Sorry about that. I don't think that what I've done affects anything else. That 8 got generated and created that 7. What we've got here instead is a double arrow that adds to 10 or 11. This pair adds to 10 or 11, and it's got a 2 in it now. It can't be 2, 9, so it must be 2, 8, adding to 10. That's a 3. This is a 4. We add up the arrows, that's a 6. This is now 5 because it's being looked at by the 2, 8 pair. That's an 8. I hope I haven't done anything wrong here. I don't think I have. That 4 says this is a 2, 5 arrow. Now the 3 in the row is there. This is a 6, 9 pair. That's going to make this cell an 8 and this one a 6. This pair is a 1, 5 pair. And these are 4, 7, 8 in some order. Now, in this column, we've got 4 and 6 to go. So now we can place 3 in the box and then fill in this as a 5. And that sorts out the 1, 5 over here, stops this being a 1, and that is the place for 1 in box 2. Now, 3 is ruled out, 5 is ruled out. Excellent. Oh, this is great. Right, 8, 4, sort out 1, 8. These digits are 1, 5, and 9. These ones are 3, 4, and 6. How do we make up the 7 arrow? Not with 3 or 4 there if it can't go here. So it's 6, 1. Now in the bottom row, this 8 arrow can't be 7, 1 or 6, 2 and must be 3, 5. These are 2, 4, 9, which do indeed add to the correct total of 15. And this arrow doesn't have a 2 on it. And can it be 3, 5 or 1, 7? Yes, I think it can. This one is either 2, 6 or again 1, 7. Okay, something vertical must be helping. There's a 3, 7 pair. So everything else in the column is 4 or 8, and this one can't be 4. So that's 8. This is 4. The central box is finished. That 4 is dealing with the 6, 4 pair at the top. That can't be 7 anymore. This column needs a 1, 3 or 5. This column needs 5, 6 or 7. That 8 is looking at this cell, so that's 2 and 8. Now we get a 2 here, and that means this is a 6. And that gives us the 9, 6 unwind and the 9, 7 unwind. And that places 7 down here, and the last digit 1. 5, 1 look right there. Now, something looking across. 7, 6 looking across to this cell gives us 5 there. We can probably finish this whole row straight away. 4 and 3. Then we can finish the row above. 5, 4, 9. This is a 7 on the arrow. 3 and 6 still to go. That is a beautiful puzzle by Jobo. 5, 3 and a 7 to finish. Fantastic stuff. Very enjoyable, very clever. And thank you, Andreas, for the recommendation. I hope you don't think you weren't being clever to struggle with the break-in. I don't even know if you would call that double 1 pair the break-in, but it was certainly very important to me. It got me my first digits. And that was a complicated little triangle involving those, wasn't it? Lovely puzzle. I've really enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching us on the channel. We love to have a bit of your time, and we'd be thrilled if you'd join us again tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye for now.